Hello, my name is Joe Richter. I'm a real estate broker and an associate broker with Keller Williams Realty. I am licensed in California and Oregon. I prepare monthly reports that look at the monthly market trends in 14 communities and market segments I call the Orange County Lifestyle Artery. This artery runs from Newport to Ladera through Irvine and Trabuco Canyon. These reports are available on our website at joe-richter.com under the navigation link Monthly Updates. Each report takes a focused look at a specific community or neighborhood. The goals are 1. To establish and monitor home values, 2. To define the market type as either a seller or buyer's market, and 3. To set up reasonable expectation for days on market, the period from listing to getting an acceptable offer and a signed contract. This report focuses on Ladera Ranch single-family homes under 3,250 feet. It covers the period January 1st, 2020 through May 27th, 2020. The monthly headline is New Listings Recover, Inventory is Low and Reasonable. The market type for the Ladera Ranch single-family homes at the moment is a seller's market. And as you can see, it's been a seller's market all year. In fact, Ladera Ranch single-family homes were one of the few market segments that did not touch upon being a buyer's market over the slowdown during 2018 and 2019. Chapman University defines a buyer's market in Southern California as being 3.5 months or more of inventory. We monitor the active listings because it provides insight into trends such as home values and inventory levels that may be emerging or shifting. Currently, there are 23 active listings. There were 21 in our last report 30 days ago. There were 41 new listings over the past 90 days. 16 of those are still on the market. There were 15 new listings in May during the stay-at-home order. There are 3 essential steps in the selling and buying of a home. The first is new listings, a willing seller, then contracts written, a willing buyer, and then the closing, the buying being able to complete its obligations under the purchase agreement. Compared to the same period in 2019, new listings are down 19%, contracts written are down 8%, and closings are down 9%. As mentioned, new listings are down 19%, as seen in the column graph. The line graph shows that there was pretty much a straight fall off in the blue line until April, and May recovered nicely. Contracts written are down 8%, due in large part to a very strong first 3 months of the year. Fannie Mae is forecasting a strong recovery in the third and fourth quarters. Contracts written, as shown in the column graph, are down 8% compared to 2019 for the same period. And to a large extent, January was just a stellar month. February was good, and March was trying to hold on. April dropped off, and May is now looking good. Closings are down 9% on a year-over-year basis. The year started very well, and then we've had a couple of months of cooling off. Home values are obviously the very important topic for sellers and for everyone else. Currently, home values in Ladera Ranch single-family homes are running 1.3% above 2019. That's good news. The average price for the active listings is $950,000. The range is from a low of $689,000 to a high of $1,224,000. This may come as a surprise, but the 90-day closing trends is a very important metric to monitor. It is in fact a key determining factor home values in both appraisals and CMAs. Typically, in a CMA or an appraisal, there will be a look-back period of 90 to 180 days. The agent has to look back far enough to get enough information to make a reasonable determination. We always use 90 days. That's because our markets are robust, and by only going back 90 days, we are reducing the impacts of seasonality on our data. For instance, looking back 6 months at this time would mean that we would have November and December data in our assumptions, and that would be totally irrelevant information that would be distorting the true perspective of what's happened this spring. Days on market, or DOM as it's commonly referred to, is the time from activating the listing on the MLS to getting an offer accepted and a purchase contract signed. As listing brokers, we always advise in a normal market the DOM time would be 30 to 45 days and suggest pricing accordingly. The DOM for all active listings is 71 days. It was 47 days in our last report at the end of April. DOM was 35 days at the end of March. We should note that the DOM for closing so far this year is 35 days. This indicates that homes that were selling earlier in the year were doing so in less time. Inventory levels are a primary determining factor in defining a market type as either a buyer or seller's market. Chapman University defines a buyer's market here in Southern California as being 3.5 months or more of inventory. The current inventory level is 1.8 months. It was 1.2 months 30 days ago. As part of our forecasting process, we monitor 3 different types of inventory levels. We're trying to be able to determine trends to forecast what may be happening in the near term. And there are 3 measures that we use. The first is the change in inventory from a point 90 days ago. Currently, inventory increased 13% over that period. Second is the year-over-year changes in inventory levels. This helps us look at long-term trends. Today they are down 18% compared to a year ago. And we may have mentioned seasonality in an earlier conversation. The third metric is to cross-check on seasonality. We look at the month-to-month comparison. The current month, May of 2020, is down 25% compared to May of 2019. All in all, each of these is within the normal range when compared to the prior 5 years. There's nothing abnormal here. As you may have guessed, we crunch a lot of data. We get this data used in these reports direct from the MLS. We have a bunch of saved searches, so we are always comparing the same data set month to month, by day, or by hour when necessary. We put the raw data into our proprietary statistical models. No one else has this presentation. We also have created links for each of the communities on our website so that you can see the public-facing information in our reports. This map and the listing thumbnails that will follow are the public-facing information of the data discussed in this report. The thumbnails look like this and have a quick synopsis of each of the listings. You can click on any one of the thumbnails and get the full details as presented on the MLS if you care to see more information. You can access this information on our website at joe-richter.com under the navigation link Predefined Community Listings. The drop-down list will show the communities that we have set up at the request of our sellers and buyers. These are live dynamic links with up to the second accuracy. You cannot get fresher information on Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com than you will get right here. The raw data we get is sorted into different tables so we can make our analysis and prepare our presentations. This table shows the current active listings and how we run checks on outliers to determine which information may be outside the normal range. We also prepare a table that contains all of the closings throughout the year. As part of the presentation for web and for PDF forms, we have to break that into multiple pages. So here you're looking at page 1 of the closings table, and right beside it or behind it is the page 2. Collectively, they include all the listings so far this year. And I believe that we had mentioned earlier in a couple of places, like the 90-day closing period, that we had a special demonstration to show just how prices are controlled by the market forces. And what we'd like to point out in this graph is that the red dots are the close prices, and the gray dot, either above or below it, is the original list price. So there were multiple examples. If we go back to the 90-day closing trends, there were 18 homes that sold below, 10 sold at, and 7 sold above. That means that in some cases the gray dot will be below the red dot because there was a price increase. In most cases, the gray dot is above, and in some cases the gray dot is spot on the red dot. In closing, we would like to say thank you for patiently listening. We have tried to make this a high-level explanation of how the market is evolving. If you need help with your real estate needs or just have questions about forbearance or prices or DOM, anything at all, please contact me. The team I work with would love to be of service. Again, thank you very much.